Hi friends, it's Carly and I'm back again with another review. So we are on the final figure of our Deadpool Strong Guy Bath series, and I saved this one for last on purpose because as soon as I got the series delivered to me, this one just looked the coolest and I couldn't wait to talk about him. I wanted to finish with a bang just in case there were any duds in there, which we've been really lucky that there haven't been. So without further ado, let's get right into this figure. Today we're going to be looking at Maverick. So Maverick is another, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of these lately, character whose primary ability is the ability to absorb attacks and then release that energy as concussive blasts or other types of kinetic energy. So he was a member of the Weapon X program, which is one connection to Deadpool. Another one is that there was an alternate universe, Earth 5700, I think it was, where he teams up with Logan and Juggernaut and Deadpool. And there's, it's convoluted, but there's like a mind control issue. He ends up being under mind control and kills the entire X-Men team, and then it has like so much guilt over it. Or not so much, well, he does have so much guilt over it, but is then set to kill his old friend and partner. I think he was in the CIA with Wolverine, and he is able to regain his consciousness enough to kill himself so that he doesn't have to kill his friend after all that he's done. So that's a pretty dramatic story. I was reading another Wolverine story that included Maverick that I found on Marvel Unlimited, and I have to be honest, it was written so melodramatically and it just really turned me off. I'll link what the name of it is below, but it was pulpy. It was like trash writing, so I couldn't read it. I have no idea what happens in that story. I didn't even get to the Maverick part, so. But he was also in the 90s cartoon, and yeah, let's just talk about what he's got going on. So Maverick is wearing a fiberglass suit. I read that a lot of the technology in his suit was developed by a Canadian inventor named Elena. I forget what her last name is, but she created a suit for him that has a lot of different features. So he's got this armor that can absorb light and make him almost impossible to see. So he can use sort of like a cloaking mechanism. He's got this pack that absorbs the kinetic energy that he takes in and allows him to strengthen and redirect his concussive blasts. He's also got a limited oxygen supply, which is why he's got this super, super cool looking mask that makes him look even more intense. Let's see, when we look at his mask, then he's also got this oxygen mask that pulls up. He's a marksman, so he can use all different types of weapons. He's a weapons expert, and at one point they developed adamantium bullets for him. Let's see, so his suit is fiberglass and Kevlar. That's what we're seeing here in these metal portions. The top part, I think, is supposed to be the cloaking part, which is why it's this awesome metallic gold. And they use the really good plastic for that, like the kind that they used on Iron Patriot. So it's got that pearlescent, really metallic, awesome look to it. And the gold is really vibrant. So what really stood out to him for me was the mixing of textures. We've got this awesome metallic gold, the silver, which is the Kevlar, which really stands out and looks great in contrast to that. And there's something different about the browns that are making up all of the leather straps and holsters on his costume, and these like portions of his pants here that are brown that just really look authentic and like real leather to me. He just looks really well executed from top to bottom. And this is something I noticed right off in the package, which is part of the reason I wanted to save him for last, that the details on him just seem to be really well wrought. The sculpt, the elements of his costume, the different textures used in painting or using vinyl for some portions are just really well executed. I think that he's got the same feet that we saw on Doom, the most recent Doom, which I really liked anyway. And these are probably, if I had to guess, I don't have him sadly enough, but on Colossus as well. But it's a good looking part. And the metallics, again, I think it's, if you're gonna have this many metallics, it's important for them to be vibrant, and all of these molded pieces are done really well. They look really excellent. So I'm really impressed just with the overall visual of him, top to bottom. The paintwork on his mask is really cool, and I love this Scott Summers kind of wild hair that he's got going on. It just looks really good. And the mask is really cool too. So the paintwork on this is great. I don't notice any flaws anywhere on mine, which is awesome. I'm always happy to say that I didn't get any glitches. So let's go ahead and look at the articulate points. I'll show you the accessories he came with. He came with this gun. It's got 2 magazines, which is kind of cool. You can see there. And some sort of like extended muzzle. So there's what that looks like. It's good looking. It's pretty substantial. And you can see that it is really shiny and metallic and vibrant looking. So that's cool. And then he's got this holster here. And this has like some other sort of like modified SMG or something. I don't know. But it's pretty cool. It's heavy. It's not, I mean, these are pretty substantial as far as weapons accessories go. So I am really happy with the way that they look. This top one here fits in the holster perfectly. You can see right here. So we'll just stick that in there, and you can see it's got a cutout back here for, yeah. So it looks good. Those are the only 2 accessories, no extra hands or heads or anything like that. So the first thing I noticed right off the bat is that with his concussive pack that he's got here that is connected into his mask, we've got to wonder what kind of articulate points we're going to get, or articulation we're going to get on the head. So it's actually really good the way that it works. These are really flexible tubes, you can see. So there is 0 hindrance right and left. It doesn't start to like pull back. It's not that those are so tight that you can move them, but then he starts to slowly turn back. He doesn't. So when you turn his head right or left, those move right with you, and you get an extension far beyond what, you know, a person would probably actually turn their head right or left. So it's excellent. And we get the same thing when we look up. You can see how those hoses adjust when we're looking up and down. So I'm really happy about that. There's absolutely no complaints whatsoever. His oxygen mask actually is an accessory that you can pull up over his face like this. It's a little bit hard to get over the mask just because of the positioning of his head. But it is a flexible piece of vinyl. So let me do some manipulation here, and you can see that it actually will go up over his face. See? So that's great. It's a great accessory that stays around his neck. And then if you go ahead and pop the head off, you can take that off. I don't know why you would want to though, because it looks really good even just down around his neck like that. So the shoulders, this is a really clicky figure. Again, we've gotten another mold that doesn't feel like it's been used a bazillion times on a million different figures. So we have really great movement and really firm, you know, he's really solid and well put together. So it doesn't seem like this mold has been used a bazillion times, or at least in this combination, because it seems like there's probably a combination of a few different things going on here. But we get great lateral lift in the shoulders. These are really tight and clicky, and it's because of the shape of the shoulder pads here. So you can turn it. You saw how, you know, it's with effort, but you can turn it. The bicep is much easier. Normal, I would say. The elbows, that's what we get there. And then we've got a nice turning wrist and a good bend forward. Whoops. Forward and backward. Actually, we don't have a bend there. That's why it's popping off. It does have, it looks like it should, but it doesn't. So that's really interesting. Okay, so the arms are fine though. I think that, I mean, I guess if he's holding his weapons, maybe that's why we're not getting that movement in, I guess what I thought was the joint there is actually a part of the sculpt. So he does not have the movement in his hands that we normally get, forward and back or right and left. I don't really know how I feel about that. It doesn't seem like with his accessories that's that big a deal, but it's surprising because I worked through this and felt like really he was normal. But anyway, we saw that he can hold his weapons, so I think that's really the most important thing there. Now, with all of these straps across his chest and back, we've got to wonder about the torso, and it is hindering. This is his bend forward. Backward is a little bit better because most of the components are on his back, so he's leaning into them. And then the turning on this figure is supposed to be in the top portion of the torso, this yellow portion. So that is hindered severely by his gear. But you do get a little bit of a turn left and right. So it could be better for sure, but I appreciate that they at least made sure that you could get some movement out of that. He does not have a turning waist at all. So like I said, all of the movement is up here in the torso, and you really just sort of get one click right and one click left. But that said, with all of the accoutrement he has on his chest, it's really kind of impressive to have any at all. So his legs, when I was messing with his legs, they really felt like the new Joes to me. If you can see how they have these rounded joints, I don't know if that's true, if there's any crossover. It certainly doesn't feel like there's any crossover at Hasbro between the Marvel Legends line and the G.I. Joe line. We can talk about that on another day. But if you look at the way that these legs are constructed into the hip and the way that they lift so smoothly and that you can see the rounded areas here, that's exactly what I saw on my Snake Eyes. And I've got more Joes coming up. But if you watch my Snake Eyes video, I'll link it. You can see the flexibility and the shape of the leg is very similar to this. And it gives us the type of flexibility that I really like to see on these figures, which we haven't been seeing in this line up till now. So I wonder if there's a little bit of a crossover there, or if that's a bit of technology that the company as a whole will be moving towards, and I really hope so. So then in his thigh, we've got 360 degrees there. We've got good bending knees, even though he is got, you know, thick thighs and calves, so that's great. He does have the calf turn. It works easily. And then we're still getting the excellent feet that bend forward and back. And you can really, as I'm working these, see those metallics again, doing just catching the light and just being awesome. So the feet are really, really good, as usual. So for all of the stuff that Maverick has on him, I am really, really pleased with the way that this figure works. There are no glaring problems or glitches, and when you're dealing with this kind of kit, there's a lot that could really go wrong. So it's nice to see that you can add a lot and still use the figure and have it be functional. I don't think that's always been the case with these Marvel Legends figures, so I'm really happy with the way that he looks and works. He would be super impressive on any shelf. I'm gonna look for some better Maverick storylines than what I was able to find. If you guys have recommendations, please share those in the comments, because he looks so awesome. And I know that there were changes to his mutation. So he deals with concussive blasts, but I know he got taken back into the Weapon X program and modified, so we got a bit of a healing factor. And then they also gave him this poisonous residue that would be on his skin, and when he would shoot his concussive blast, it could travel through it, and it affected the healing factor of other characters, so it could prevent them from healing, which is pretty awesome. I know that he's been through a lot, and I just wasn't able to get my hands on anything good for this review. So let me know what your favorite Maverick stories are. Let me know if you've read the one where he works with Deadpool, and I will read anything that you recommend to me. So that is the last figure in the Strong Guy BAF series line before we get to the Strong Guy himself. I loved this line of figures. Hoping that Strong Guy is as good as the rest of them, This has been an excellent series, and I feel like we finished on a really strong representative note, that there are better molds being used, that we're getting more practical with how accessories and additional, features are worked into the character so that it's still highly articulate. It seems like for the most part, other than on Shikla, other than on these small frame figures, that Hasbro is really considering the fact that these are being billed to us as highly articulate figures and doing what it takes to keep them that way. So that feels really good. I feel like this was a good investment. I've added some really key pieces to my collection, and fingers crossed I'm gonna feel the same way about Strong Guy when I get to him. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will be doing Strong Guy at the end of the weekend, and we will be moving on. I have one more Joe to look at. I just can't find him in my area, guys. If you have a line on G.I. Joes, give me a message, send me an email, do whatever, put it in the comments, because I want to do these figures. I want to have them. I just can't get them. We've got some pickups that I had a great big haul earlier. I'm thinking about doing a live stream to cover those. Let me know what you guys think about live stream haul covers. And I've got some hunting to do, so I think I might be posting just some little videos of me on the hunt because some people have asked for that. Thank you guys so much for being here and for subscribing to my channel. I can see that you guys have the notifications bell on, so you're not missing anything, and I'm grateful for that. I will be back in a couple days with another one, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye, friends.